Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Live Penguin TV. My name's Sky. I'm going to be your host for tonight. And we've also got Tom here again. Tom, jump on in.
Hi everyone, again from last night. Welcome to those of you who weren't. I'll be keeping an eye on the questions in the YouTube feed tonight. So if there's any interesting questions, I'll try and pass them on to Sky if time permits. So put your thinking caps on and see how we go. If you can't get an answer to your question, we'll be having people following up on Facebook for the questions within 24 hours. So just be patient. We are getting a hell of a lot of feedback at the moment. Great feedback, and we can't sort of look after everyone at once. Thank you.
Yep, so do get your questions coming in tonight. As we said, you'll get an answer within the next 24 hours if you ask on Facebook, and we just don't quite have the technical capabilities to get an answer to you after the stream on YouTube just yet. So if you want to follow up, jump on Facebook and ask your question there, and a really hardworking team of rangers will get to you. So welcome everybody to another night of Penguin Live TV. We are coming to you live from Phillip Island, which is on the southern coast of Victoria, which is in the southern part of Australia. That's where we're coming to you from today. And it's also called Malau by the traditional custodians of the land here, which are the Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation. And so I'd just like to acknowledge them as the traditional custodians and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Now, let's take a moment to talk about last night. For those of you, because I know lots of you are tuning in night after night, and last night was huge. Last night we had 1,672. Oh, camera's just going fuzzy there. Let's get that back in. There we go. We had 1,672 penguins cross the beach last night, and it was poor Stephen, Ranger Stephen, who you might know from these live streams. Stephen was the poor ranger who was counting all of those penguins cross the beach, and he's here again. He's a sucker for punishment. He's here again, and I'm going to zoom in to him on the skybox. Give him a call, Stephen. Let him know that we're going to zoom in on him.
Just zooming to give you a close-up, so give us a second.
Yeah, and hopefully he should have just got the radio call, and hopefully we'll see him poking his head out the window. There he goes. Give us a wave, Stephen. Yeah, there he is. Hi, Stephen. So show your love for Stephen in the comments again tonight, because we screenshotted the ones that you sent to him last night, and he really appreciated all your love and support from counting those 1,672 penguins. Now, we could have a night like that again tonight. It is a natural event, and the penguins will come as they wish. We don't control it. We don't tell them how many should come. We don't have any impact on or any say about how many come. So Tom was telling me that the least he's ever seen was about 40 in one night, and tonight could be another night where we see only about 40 penguins. We've also had 400 sometime recently. We've had nights we've seen about 400 penguins. We've also had nights where we've seen over 4,000. So it can be really, really variable. And yet last night over 1,600. We'll see what happens tonight. And it's even going to be a tougher night for Stephen as well. So he's going to really need your love and support, because you can see that the tide is a little bit higher than it was last night, which means that the time that he has got from when the penguins arrive on the water's edge to when they get to the rocks is much shorter, which means that, he's got a lot less time to count all of those penguins. So we're expecting penguins to arrive just around these rocks here within the next 10 minutes or so, we think. And they're going to just do this really short dash across the beach tonight up onto these rocks over here. So send your thoughts and your prayers to Stephen. Tough job tonight, but hopefully, look, for our sakes, I really hope that it's a tough job for him tonight, because that means that we're going to be seeing lots and lots of penguins. Now, we here at Phillip Island Nature Parks During these shutdowns, we've had to keep going because we're an essential service. We are doing lots of things that we can't just stop. For instance, Phillip Island Nature Parks is looking after some of the koalas that got caught in the bushfires, and they still need to be cared for every day. They need fresh gum leaves every single day. And so that is just one of the many jobs that we've had to continue while these lockdowns have been going on. We also manage a lot of the south side beaches like this one here, which doesn't stop just because everything's locked down. So despite the fact that we can't be welcoming you all to our lovely places, our lovely spots, we are still doing a lot of really important conservation work. And looking after the areas in which these penguins live. So if you'd like to support us, you can have a look in the description. There is a link to the Penguin Foundation. That does help the conservation work that we do. And it also supports us here at Phillip Island Nature Parks, and it helps us continue to bring these live streams to you night after night. And we have, of course, we're still doing this as we're closed. We're still doing this penguin live stream. But Tom, can you tell us a little bit, what else have you been doing while we wait for the penguins to arrive? What are some of the important conservation jobs that you've been doing since we've been closed to the public?
All sorts, Sky. So for a couple of days, I was actually in the penguin colony to our left, clearing pathways which hadn't been touched for a fair while. And that was very hard work, cutting through a lot of heavy brush and whatever. We've been walking through dunes, looking for plants that shouldn't be there, foreign plants that are sort of threatening our native plants, and planting hundreds, if not thousands, of eucalyptus trees and waddle trees and all sorts of native plants, especially out of our koala reserve.
Fantastic. Yep. So Tom's been clearing penguin pathways and planting koala food. I've been doing a little bit of koala keeping myself and making sure that those bushfire koalas are ready to be released, we hope by the end of the year, that they can go back, that they will have rehabilitated completely and can go back out into the wild. So this is just some of the important work that we here at Phillip Island Nature Parks are doing and will continue to do while we are locked down. So let's look for some rafts again. So we're here to see the penguins, of course, and the penguins, well, what we're watching for is the penguins to arrive out of the ocean, and they're going to cross the beach and head back to their burrows. That's why we're all here. That's the main event tonight. And so, of course, the start of that is looking to see if we can see any penguins in groups out in the water. So they've spent the day out today. The ocean's their supermarket. They eat anchovies and pilchards and squid and all sorts of things like the sea jellies. And after a day out at sea or a week out at sea or a month out at sea, they can stay out at sea for up to about a month. It's time to come back to land, particularly at the moment because it is breeding season. So we are seeing lots of return visitors, lots of penguins coming home night after night. And that's why we're seeing such big numbers like we've had the last few nights. But to do that, of course, they've got to swim in, and they spend most of their day fishing in a solitary manner. They spend the day by themselves. And then at this time of night, they start to get into groups that we call rafts. And looks like a disturbance in the water. It's a whole lot of penguin heads above the water, and they're calling to each other. And I'll do the huck because it's a bit of fun. They sound like this. And they're saying, hey, you ready to go? Is it time? Can we all go in? And when they're ready to go, they will swim in together as a group. Now, the last few nights have been a lot of smoother than the ocean tonight, and we've actually been able to see the rafts in the distance. We've been able to see the penguins forging their way through. I wonder if that's the one there or if that's just some rocks. Let's have a little look here. Well, it might have just been some rocks. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for these rafts of penguins, these groups of penguins swimming in together. Now, they don't swim in family groups. These rafts aren't the same penguins every night. They don't sort of wait out in the bay for their favourite friend and say, oh, I'm not going in until you're there, and then swim together. No, it's more like a train. It's more like whoever's ready to go to the same place at the same time will jump on the same raft together. So in the same way that you catch the train with a whole lot of strangers, if you're going to the same place, that's how they find their way in. And that's why we see different numbers of penguins in the rafts each night. You know, last night we had a really big first raft, and then about 20 minutes in, we saw another really big raft, whereas other times, but also last night we had a small group at the very start that weren't too confident to cross the beach. So we might see things like that again. And you just never know what numbers you're going to see in these rafts, essentially. So I don't know I haven't heard from Stephen if he's seen any rafts out there yet. He's got the binoculars and he is frantically looking out to see if we've got any penguins coming. And of course, the penguin count is something that we have continued right through these lockdowns because it is part of a really long-term continuous bird study. We've actually been counting these penguins since 1968. So we didn't want to stop that important research. So we've had at least 2 rangers here every night counting these penguins. So we saw Stephen before, and you might also be able to see, I'll do a quick scan across. You might also be able to see Linda tonight. That's her in the distance there, that orange figure there. Oh, and a whole lot of seagulls milling about on the edge of the water there too. But she's counting the penguins that come up on the far side there. Now, I wonder if these seagulls will put off our penguins, because the penguins wait until sunset to cross the beach because they are nervous of getting eaten by predatory birds and birds of prey. Now, I would hope that they're reasonably familiar with seagulls or silver gulls and don't feel like they're going to get eaten by them. But you never know. Sometimes they don't look too carefully before they flee. They see any bird and they go, right, that could be something that wants to eat us. Let's just not bother. And it looks like the penguins are even a little bit later than last night. I think it was around this time last night that they started crossing the beach. But as we said, it's a natural phenomenon. They'll arrive when they arrive. It's penguin time. They can't get watches on their little flippers. That's the problem. No, they just turn up when they turn up. They take their cues from the environment and they do what they want. They don't pay attention to us and our schedules. And as I said, I'm struggling to even find a raft tonight. So look for those disturbances in the water. But there's a lot of rocks tonight, which are making it quite hard to spot a distinctive raft. We've been really lucky the last few nights to see the rafts as clearly as we have. In fact, with this technology that we can use to zoom, the last few nights I've seen the penguins the best I've ever seen them in the water. Oh. Now, is this penguins or rocks? Are you fooling me again, penguins? It might be penguins. It might be penguins. Are you penguins? Yes, I think we've got some penguins, everybody. Oh, and we've got a shell gritter up the top as well. Have a little good look. We've got one penguin going the opposite way towards the beach. She's early, but no, we have got penguins on the water's edge. Have a look at those white bellies washing up against the rocks here. Thank you for coming, penguins. We appreciate it. Now, see if you can take on Stephen in the penguin counting department, because it's his job to count these penguins as they cross the beach. Remember, Tom said that the lowest night he's ever seen was about 40 penguins. We might even have about 40 penguins just in this first raft. So we might already be beating Tom's lowest night. So that is always a good sign. That's always very encouraging. But here we go. We have got penguins on the water's edge. There they are. And it's a reasonably smallish group. We'll see if they're going to have the confidence to actually make a run for it, or if they're going to wait for more buddies, if they're going to wait for backup. They're moving tentatively. Yeah, tentatively going. There's a few slowpokes at the back who don't seem so sure, and they seem to be waiting around. Oh, yep, now they're running. So Stephen will call a start to the count when the penguins get when at least 5 penguins, I should say, 5 penguins get halfway across the beach. So I imagine he would have called a start time about now. Yep, they're off and they're racing. Here they come. Hi, penguins. Welcome home. and a much shorter dash for them, which is nice for them. Not so nice for Stephen, as I said. So they're arriving here on the rocks now, and we'll see how much of a hurry they're on. What is this one up the top corner doing? Where are you going, little lady? Is that the one we saw before? Let us know in the comments if you've been watching her, and let us know what's she doing. What's she thinking? What do you think? Other penguins are on the way. The penguins are on parade. Let's zoom out. And it was how many? Oh, yep, start time at 6:39, I'm being told by Tom. Yep, so just as we predicted, that was the first start of the cross. And we're getting a number from Stephen right now as to how many were in that raft. Or as once they hit the ground, we call them a waddle. Let us know, Stephen. Sorry, Tom, how many was it? Oh, 51. Fantastic. So we've already broken the record of Tom's fewest penguins. So that is good. And yep, they're on their way home. Some of them are heading underneath this boardwalk right here. This is our Penguins Plus stand. And this is somewhere where you can sit when it is safe for you to come back. At the moment, we're bringing the penguins to you, but hopefully before too long, you'll be coming to us, and we'll get to see your smiling faces sitting on that stand there, and you'll be enjoying the penguins walking directly below you. This is really a front row ticket to the Penguin Parade, the Penguins Plus stand. So some are happily standing on the rocks there. They're not in a hurry anymore, are they? Once they make it safe into the colony, they start to feel a lot more confident. They're not so nervous anymore, and they're happy to take their time. And there's 32,000 penguins that call Phillip Island home, that live in this colony. Yeah, they're making their way across this patch, but they're pausing. This is a bit of an odd spot to pause. I wonder if there's something in their way. Nope, they're back on their way. Oh, I wonder if this goose, can you see below? There's a goose. Oh, with goslings. Hello. Let's have a look at both of these things. So we've got a Cape Barren goose is in the bottom of the screen here with, I can see two little goslings. They look a little bit like hot cross buns. Oh, they are very sweet. And these penguins are heading up the hill. But let's quickly switch cameras for the underground camera. Hello, penguins. Watch them waddle. So you can waddle like a penguin if you're at home. Lock those knees in. You have to tilt from side to side. And the reason they waddle like this is our little penguins, they can't bend their knees. So all they can do is tip themselves from side to side and use that momentum to rock along. One little slow penguin catching up here. Oh, there you go. You're very sweet. Okay. So let's have a look at these little goslings. Oh, they're cute. Let's have a quick little look before we go back to our penguins. Oh, so sweet. So you can see that stripe on the back. This is why I think they look a bit like hot cross buns. Very, very sweet. This is a very rare goose, but we've got a lot of them here on Phillip Island. Oh, wallaby. Let's see if we can catch up. No, I can't. We've got a wallaby in amongst our penguins. So this is another friend of the penguin colony here are our swamp wallabies. We've got Cape Barren geese and swamp wallabies all very happily living together here. Now, one penguin has just made a dash all by itself. What are you thinking, penguin? Don't you know there's safety in numbers? So that's a very brave or stupid penguin, either way. They usually don't go all by themselves because that makes them very easy prey for those birds that would like to eat them, like the Pacific gulls, like the swamp harriers, like the wedge-tailed eagles. There's a bit more safety in numbers. It means that maybe you're less likely to be the penguin that gets eaten. When you cross that beach all by yourself, oof, as I said, you're either a very gutsy penguin or a very silly penguin. So you can be the judge. You let me know what you think. I think there's another one in amongst the rocks there too, but it seems to be a bit more sensible. It seems to be hiding in amongst the rocks because they've got blue feathers on their back. Oh, yep, you can see that belly just to the side there. But they've got these blue feathers on their back, which help them blend into the rocks and blend into the water, but it doesn't help them blend into this golden, beautiful sand that we've got here on Phillip Island. So this penguin, I think is sticking nearer to the rocks, is being a bit more sensible. Depends how much of a hurry they are to get home. If they're in a big hurry, they might take that dangerous dash by themselves, but it's not, as I said, it's not a very common occurrence to see that a penguin go by themselves. Oh, and there's that wallaby hopping through again. Oh gosh, all sorts of action tonight here at the Penguin Parade, all sorts of animals. So let's see, a little bit of wallaby there. We've got some penguins in the top screen there as well, waddling along. Hello. Heading back to their burrows because it is the breeding season, everybody. So we've got eggs at home. We've got chicks at home. We've got all sorts of reasons to be on land. These penguins will spend 80% of their life in the ocean, only 20% of their life on land. But this is the time of year where they get those numbers up on land because they've got lots of things to do. They've got eggs to take their turn looking after. They look after them 50-50. Mum and dad both do the work. So mum lays the eggs, but then, dad will take his turn, sitting on those eggs. And then when the chicks are born, so I'm trying to get this in focus for you. When the chicks are born, they will each look after the babies because those babies need feeding every day if possible, which means that there needs to be one adult that stays at home with those babies and one adult that's going out doing the fishing, going to the supermarket, as we say, comes back, brings the babies some food, and then the other parent will go out and get some food for themselves and for their babies too. So it seems we've had one early raft and then not a lot since then. The penguins are staying out a little bit later tonight. It could be that it's still quite a bright night. We've still got a fair bit of light, which might be putting them off. So I'm just going to keep it on this vision here. Keep an eye out for more rafts, everybody, and hopefully we'll see those white bellies showing up on the side, on the beach anytime soon. But Tom, let's get a question while we wait. Oh, actually, is this some more penguins? I think it is. I will get that question quickly, Tom, and we'll actually fair few penguins. Throw the question in, and we'll watch these penguins stumble over the rocks as I answer it.
Well, there's one question I can answer, so I'll just
great.
do that very briefly. From Heather Taylor.
Hi, Heather.
The question was, what is the biggest raft we've seen? As I said last night, I've been here 13 years, and one night on Penguins Plus, which is where we are at the moment, one group crossed the beach, which was about 40 penguins wide and about 20 penguins deep. So there was about 800 penguins in one group, and it was like the D-Day landing. It was like we were being invaded.
Imagine that. And you never know, we could have a night like that here on live Penguin TV. So you just have to keep tuning in night after night to see what happens with that. It could be tonight. Tonight could be the night that we see numbers like that. You just never know. So yeah, the penguins are landing right on the rocks here, which is not very easy for them. Oh, it looks like we've got more penguins on the way. Can you see that? Yep, you can actually see them diving through the water there. Can you see that? All right, so this is going to be a fair raft of penguins when they catch up with these ones in the front. But as I said, they're all, oh gosh, it's a lot of penguins. Oh, Stephen. Oh, no. So have a go at counting this, everybody, but geez, this looks like a tough job for Stephen here tonight. That is a lot of penguins. But yeah, they're washing up on these rocks, which is making it a little bit difficult for these penguins because then they've got to start climbing over these rocks, and they are only very small. Oh gosh, I'm going to have to keep zooming out so I can show you how many penguins we've got. Look at that. So they are 33 centimetres tall. And they're about 1 kilo in weight. Oh, and there's more penguins arriving at the back there. Can you see the disturbance in the water? I can see the white front of their necks coming in too. Oh, Stephen. And see, when it's a lower tide, they kind of go in a bit of a straight line and it's easier to count. But this is just a mess across the rocks. This is, have a go, everybody. See what you think, and we'll try and get a number from Stephen after this. See if he can tell us what the answer is, how many penguins this is. Oh, it's a lot. But yeah, they're making it hard for themselves arriving on these rocks. So we're getting to see a good little waddle across this beach. Yep, it's kicking off now, everybody. And here they go. So yeah, they're spreading out. You see that really sort of, as they run so fast, they really wobble from side to side, don't they? It's really adorable. Oh, come on, camera. Oh, man. And they just keep coming. Look at that. They just keep coming and coming. Poor Stephen. Give him your love in the comments, everybody, because this is a tough raft to count. This is a tough waddle of penguins. I wouldn't even begin to know the strategy of how to count these ones. Oh, dear. All right, so let's follow these ones up. So we're going to see a fair few of them. Oh, and a few more in the back there are hanging back. You can see their white bellies. But look at this on the rocks here. Oh, dear. Let's zoom out a bit to get an idea of the scale of the penguins. There we go. Oh, it's just stacks and stacks. Another big night tonight, everybody. Yep, so some of them are happily sitting on the rocks there, and they might be preening themselves, getting their feathers back in shape. Perhaps their feathers got out of kilter while they were out in the ocean today, and they do want to be waterproof. So that's one of the first things they'll do. They'll also be desalting themselves because they've got a lot of excess salt in their bodies that they want to shake free, and they sort of release a lot of their salt through their nose. So you'll see lots of head shaking and lots of preening, but oh, they're just still coming. Let's have a look back at the beach. They're still on their way. So yeah, that seems to be more or less the end of the... Oh, and we've got another raft arriving. Can you see? So some more white bellies are washing up on the beach. Oh, it's another really big one, everybody. Oh, Stephen. Oh, you poor thing. So have another go at counting this one, everyone. See what you think. And this is why a lot of our really senior rangers have to be the ones doing the penguin count, because it's a really tough job. Look at that, another one. He would have just taken a break from counting that last raft before getting those binoculars back up and going again. And keep in mind, everybody, that this is not the only place that the penguins arrive. We have 5 different penguin pathways. Oh, let's switch the cameras. We have 5 different penguin pathways that the penguins will be arriving along. So 5 different spots along the beach where penguins will arrive and then cross the beach. So he's not only just counting this pathway here with the hundreds and hundreds of penguins. Did we get a number then, Stephen? Oh, sorry, Tom?
376.
376 penguins. Did any of you get it? Are any of you our next penguin counters? And we always do need more penguin counters, so keep an eye on our website in the years to come to see if that's a job that you're interested in, because we're always needing penguin rangers, and part of that job is, yes, being a penguin counter. So if you think you're pretty good at it, if you got anywhere near 376, was it, then you might be one of our up-and-coming penguin counters. And yep, they are off and racing now. Have a look at them go. So while we're watching them waddle along here, let's get a question from Tom.
This is from Max and Cora, and also from Piper. How far do these penguins swim away from Phillip Island?
Do you want to take that one, Tom?
You can if you like.
So they can swim quite a way. They within the first year of them hatching and leaving, they can pretty much get almost to the border of South Australia. So they can swim a really, really long way away. But if they are like the penguins that we're probably seeing at the moment, which are parents of eggs and chicks, they're not going to be swimming anywhere near that distance away. They're going to be wanting to find food really nice and close to shore. So we're not going to be seeing them going to South Australia and back within a day or anything like that. No. They would go on a long journey, those sorts of distances. While they've got babies, because they've got to be coming back night after night, or at least every few nights, they're going to be going to wherever the closest fish and food is. So if it's really nice and close, we'll be seeing lots of penguins coming up nice night after night. If it's a little bit further away, then it tends to be a tougher breeding season, because they have to go further, stay out longer to get the fish to feed their babies. So it means that their babies might be waiting a little bit longer for food. So yep, the answer is a really long way when they're young, and yet during the breeding season they try and stay as close as they can. Anything you wanted to add to that, Tom?
I was too busy watching questions.
No, he's too busy doing his job. All right, we've got more. Oh gosh, look at all of these penguins. So yeah, it's going to be another really big night for these penguins. It's going to be another big night for Stephen counting these numbers, and you're going to have to tune in tomorrow to find out how many did arrive for our count. We count for 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and so that's after this stream finishes. So yeah, tune in tomorrow to find out how many came up tonight, but I imagine it's going to be another big night. Now we've got about 5 minutes left, everybody, so any last questions, get them coming through. Remember to donate to the Penguin Foundation if you can. We really appreciate any money that you can give us. You can adopt a penguin, you can become a penguin pal, which is pretty fun, and it does help us conserve the areas and the habitat that these penguins live in, and it helps us do all the important conservation work that we do here on Phillip Island. If you want more information about how your money gets used, jump on the Penguin Foundation website and have a little look into the projects that we run. Oh, they just don't stop coming along here. And remember, another way you can support us is by coming to visit us when it is safe to do so. When we're open again, you can get tickets to stand right where this window is on the left-hand side of the screen, and these penguins would be walking right past you. So that's another way you can support us. Come and see this in real life, because look, it's good on a screen, but nothing beats the real thing, and we can't wait to welcome you back when it is safe to do so. So yep, these penguins are waddling on home to their burrows, back to eggs, back to chicks, same burrow night after night. And these little penguins will have 2 eggs at a time, and that egg is about the size of a chicken egg. So when they are born, they are tiny, like little baby chickens, and they grow up really quickly. They get to about full size within about 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and they're ready to go out into the ocean about 8 to 10 weeks after they hatch. And the way that they go is, or the reason that they go, is that their parents just stop feeding them. Their parents stop coming back, stop bringing the food, and they go, right, well, I'm not getting fed anymore, so I guess it's time for me to figure it out. And so they have to make that walk down to the beach by themselves. They have to figure out how to swim by themselves. They have to figure out how to catch fish by themselves. So it's not an easy life for a baby penguin. It is tough for them. They've got to do it all by themselves. All right, let's get another question. I'm going to get you a close-up on some of these penguins doing some preening. Oh, 2 shell gritters in the top. Let me quickly switch, change of plans. Got 2 shell gritters heading down. So, of course, these are females that have got eggs in their belly who are heading down to the beach to nibble on some shells to get some extra calcium. So that's why it looks like they're going the wrong way. They're not going the wrong way. They've got a reason to be going the way that they're going. But, yep, I want to show you some penguins nice and up close while we get a couple of last questions. So, yep, Tom?
So Andrew asks, what time do they go out in the morning?
Yep, so that's just about an hour or 2 before sunrise. So they do it in the dark, just in the same way that they come up in the dark, they go back out in the dark. But apparently not in the same big groups that we see here. They don't sort of go in rafts or waddles. They sort of go in dribs and drabs. Thanks for the question. Another one?
And Susan was asking, how long do they hold their breath for?
Oh, how long do they hold their breath for? Yes, of course, they are air-breathing birds, but they do need to dive down to catch their fish and catch their prey. So they can hold their breath for just under 2 minutes. That's the longest breath-holding recording that we've got. All right, so you can see that preening behaviour. You can see them putting their beaks through their feathers, combing through their feathers, getting them back into position. See lots of those head flicks that I was telling you about. And yep, lots of penguins heading on their way home tonight. It looks like we might have just had another little group arrive. There's more coming through. Let's have a little look out to the beach, but it is almost, oh gosh. Yep, there's another raft arriving, so there's no rest for Stephen tonight. It's a busy night for him. You'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out what our numbers were. tonight. But look, it has been a fantastic night of penguin watching. We would love to see you again tomorrow night. Remember to donate to the Penguin Foundation if you can, and keep tuning in, because we are only going to see bigger and bigger numbers arriving more or less over the next few months, because it is breeding season and we're very excited about it. Oh, come on, camera, focus. There we go. So with these penguins in view, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hope to see you tomorrow night, and we hope you have a lovely night, everybody. Goodbye. You want to say goodbye, Tom?
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Lovely to have you tonight. We'll see you again soon. Bye.